To understand the trends in numeric data from one or more data variables, we will be using a trend chart. We have previously uploaded data that we would like to analyze using a trend chart. This data shows order fill rates for several fulfillment centers between the month of January and November. Our order fill rates are percentages out of 100%, but you can use any numeric data for this study. To open a new trend chart, navigate to the Measure section of the menu, and under Basic Graphs subsection, click on Trend Chart. We will start with a basic case. The first data variable to add to this chart is the main data you would like to graph. In our case, that will be the order fill rate for our fulfillment centers. This second data variable is optional and depends on if you would like to graph multiple numeric variables. One option is to drag on a second variable onto the yellow spot to indicate a second line of data. The other option is to drag on a grouping variable, which indicates which group the observations belong to. We will return to this later, but for now, we'll leave it blank and click on Continue. This third data variable is also optional and allows you to label the x-axis or time order axis of your trend chart. In this case, we have a month variable that represents the x-axis point for these observations. But for this basic case, we will leave this blank and click on Continue. On this slide, we have additional graph options available. The target creates a horizontal line to visualize the goal. In this case, we will fill out 100 because 100% is the optimal order fill rate. We want to compare the trends of each fulfillment center to this target. We will ignore the trend line and overlay lines for now, but they provide additional visual indicators for the trend, the mean, or the median. If this section is turned on, then the mean and median lines would be applied to each individual group. We'll click Continue. The results are shown in their basic trend chart with a single line. The single column of numeric data will produce a single line on the graph. Additionally, we have a target line at 100, representing 100%, which is our goal rate we want to compare the results to. Previously, we had discussed how to add additional data variables using the drop zones. Even after the study is run, you can still make modifications as the drop zones are still available. In this case, our data sheet has a column that labels each observation with the fulfillment center it came from. We will use this as our grouping variable. The fulfillment center variable can be dragged onto the blue spot and applied to the graph. As you can see, the fill rates for each fulfillment center are now grouped and are graphed as different colors, allowing you to compare the rates between different fulfillment centers more easily. Finally, you can customize the labels on the x-axis by using the green time order variable drop zone. We will use our month variable and add it to this. Now we notice that our x-axis range has updated to include months January through November. To analyze more in depth by adding a trend line, go to the graph setup in the upper right-hand corner. Turn on the trend line to generate the trend line and equation for each of the fulfillment centers. Observe the trend line and whether the points are going up, down, or staying flat. In this case, notice how the second fulfillment center is dramatically increasing, which in this case is a good thing, as we want to hit a target of 100%. Additional options include adding a mean or a median line. And by using this switch, we can indicate whether that mean or median should be for all of the data points or for each individually. This concludes our tutorial. You can find more tutorials for tools in EngineRoom by going to www.moresteam.com/help/EngineRoom.